America started in 1913 AD, past, present, and future leaders. Honest to the harbingers of the sons and daughters to pave the way for their children to be more leaders. Honest to Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay, forerunner of the Jesus return, Prophet Edward Raleigh. The John the Baptist return, Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay, said a tree without roots is like a person without nationality, so to speak. Not those exact words. Honest to everybody who wants the truth and desires to know the truth about Moorish science and Moorish divine national movement. Honest to everything Moorish. Open us up with a Moorish Shemaiah prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, those who are prophets were on the Islam family, happy Tuesday, happy new day. I'm here to tell y'all today that the most important thing right now is protecting your family at all costs. Even if you are have a motherless household or a fatherless household, or it's just father and mother, or it's just grandmother, grandparents, aunties, etc. So we have to really be mindful what spirits we inherit in our thinking and be securely on point and paying attention to details, because a lot of these modern day so-called mothers or so-called fathers or so-called mammies, so-called pappies, whatever you want to call it, it becomes detrimental to society that children feel like they can stay up all night and stay up and party and all this good stuff and drink them fiery, poisonous drinks that poisons the mind, and eat the food that's not good for you and ruins your whole lifestyle, and wondering why your children are acting out of order, because you're not protecting your children, family. You're not protecting your children because you choose to eat the swine. You're not protecting your children because you went against everything that's against the Old Testament, has never been revised by the New Testament, or nothing that has anything to do with the relevance of a healthy family. A healthy family starts with a healthy mindset as well as a healthy diet. I'm a big advocate for the truth, and the truth should make you free. One thing that's not going to make you free is having an unhealthy family and having a dysfunctional family, because you have a disorderly conduct. Everybody's doing their own thing. No one's on one accord. No one's assisting. There's always war with the mindset of man, woman, and child, father against the son, daughter against the mother. And this is like majority of your households. This is, households of the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors. This is the household of the so-called Asians, Latino, Chicano, Hispanics, here or abroad, depending on the situation. Just because you have a person of the same ethnic background don't mean you guys don't get along. But I'm going to tell you something about a lot of people. A lot of people may not agree with each other, but they're from the same nation. They know they have to work together. And they put their little pride to the side, but this is how nations are being built. So we gonna look under a microscope based upon what represents or what constitutes a black nation. Nothing. If you want to consider collard greens and cornbread and all that other folly, you know what I'm saying, starchy diet, and eating all this swine and so on and so on. And you eating what your grandmother and grandfather ate because you want to call that soul food. It's not soul food. It's not good for the soul. It's killer food. Hypertension food. It's food that will make you get your arteries clogged up. And I don't care how many prunes you eat to get your organs and stuff going. If you're not eating fruits and vegetables, family, then you are causing your body disservice and you're about to shorten your lifespan. Everything I'm speaking about is the truth based upon my portion of understanding. Knowing that grandmoms is or grandpops is overweight, obese, and leaving the earth a little bit too early because this is their choice. No one told you you had to eat pork, even though the pork was the thing to eat because it's all master gave you. It doesn't mean you have to honor that. You got to change that. You got to change your state of mind from being a black person or a so-called Negro, colored, or Afro-American and being owned by the democracy of this sovereign entity. It's not even a nation. I don't care what Minister Farrakhan says about Amerigo Vespucci or whatever being founded by America. No. It was founded by the Sultan of Morocco. Information is key, family. It's up to you to decide to cipher what's the difference between truth and falsehood. So, thinking and planning ahead is the reason why we tend to live longer. The writing's on the wall, family. We tend to lose sight of what's really important. Our law says that sons and daughters must obey father and mother and become industrious part of fallen humanity. Industrious mean find work, learn how to do things, create income for yourself, be self-sufficient. Stop depending on these corporations to do everything for you to give you work. You gotta be on point on situations, family. You gotta be really strong-minded to be able to go up against people who think otherwise. And if you don't think I'm telling the truth, then that's on you. You're the one who's lost. You have to be the first one to do some thinking. If your family don't do anything and they follow the same old diet program and you've already seen that you lost relatives behind based upon dieting and eating and thought process, and your thought process is not in tune with righteousness, but yet still you still living according to your own terms of game banking, but you're not living your life according to what's the best interest for yourself, and what you want for yourself is what you want for your neighbor or what you want for your people. My brothers and sisters, you guys need to really start doing some critical thinking. And the only way you're going to do that, family, is number one is acknowledging the condition. When you acknowledge the condition and you acknowledge situations, then that means that you are in a process of understanding what the conditions and terms may be to be able to cipher between right and wrong, so that way you can be a stronger vessel of Allah made manifest. Not all of Allah made manifest, but part of Allah made manifest. To be that beacon light, to uplift people. Even if you say kind words to uplift somebody and they give you a dirty look, that already tells you that they're on a low vibration. Witnessing one thing in life changes the perception of the people. And this is why you cannot sit your children in front of the TV television, because that's what they're doing. They're telling your vision and they're molesting your children and tearing them out. They're using all kinds of signs and symbols to indoctrinate the children. And they're allowing the mom and pop to watch us too and allow them to be indoctrinated because they're not strong enough to hold this information. See, with the powers that be, the Jewish Khazars, the European powers that be, they're doing is they're using a hammer to drive home the falsehood and a little bit of the truth until it's part of every part of your mind will be until you act it out. The preservatives they put in the food is all toxic. I don't know where people get the idea that you have to follow this thing because your mom and your daddy did it, your grandmother did it, your grandpapa did it. It doesn't mean that you have to do it because you're about to cut your lifespan short, as I said before. You cut your lifespan short because you're not protecting your family. You're not protecting yourself because you're a newly aged mother. And you just let whatever goes. And whatever traumatizing situation that happened to your children, you don't care. And even if you did care, it's going to be hard to look at the details because you don't be quick to sign on that dotted line that you're selling your children's life away. When we understand those things, family, we understand what we have to do. We understand that there's certain things in life that people are evil, that they're not going to treat you accordingly. They're going to be like a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what they're going to be. Just because a person starts off genuine doesn't mean they're going to be genuine towards the end. It's like, be careful who you call a friend. Be careful who you call whatever, you know. Whatever tile you give people, you gotta watch them move closer because you don't know when they're gonna start slipping. I mean, family, we gotta be really, truly honest with ourselves based upon the information that we receive, whether it be from me, your brother Man Moore's life, or whether it be from other sources. Just be careful. Because we got all kinds of indoctrination going on to the point where people are accepting things that's not accurate. Let me throw some terms out there for you. Homeboy, houseboy, field slave boy, field house slave boy. Now you understand where certain situations have to be looked at upon as being taken literally. Because if you don't take it literally, how are you going to be able to maneuver through these obstacles and situations, these barriers in life? So it needs to be thought of. Some things need to be taken care of. Do you realize by renting out a house that's not family security? You realize by having a mortgage that's not family security? Having family security is owning your own land and growing your own food and crops and etc. Me personally, there's like no shame in the game. I mean, there is shame in the game, but I stand corrected. But you gotta know what game to play, because if you keep bringing checker pieces to the chess game, you're gonna lose every single time. You might as well just say forfeit. To all those sons and daughters who respect and obey their mother and father, honestly, you all, never Never put your eggs in one basket before the eggs hatch, family. Everything in life has priorities and obligations. There's obligation and priorities you need to tend to. So if you're going to do these things, so I don't see anybody in the chat. I don't see any likes, but hopefully something comes up. That's all. Once we take life for real into consideration and things and obstacles that's going to happen, I mean, life is a 24/7 job. You harp on it. Just because you get rest at night, you wake up, it's keeping you alive, you know what I mean? You gotta be on point. Young people, if you don't know how to cook, clean, or sew, y'all need to start learning real quick. Because guess what? You're not gonna win this war. McDonald's is not gonna save you. McDonald's and Burger King and all the fast food places are always not gonna be here. So be careful and be mindful of the things that you eat. These kind of things will be a test to you, loved ones. I don't say things just to say things. I say things because it's factual. It's facts. So, like for instance, is nothing wrong with going and buying a car or whatever. But now the question is, are you going to protect your family from hardship and assets of the things that you possess that you can't make payments on? You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to stress yourself out because of the fact that you can't make this $500 car payment. Is that really logical? Is that really honest? Sometimes you gotta live between your means or below your means to be able to make it in society. Family, the things that we go through. Just start looking at different fruits and vegetables to be able to heal yourself. All these man-made diseases and traumatizing stuff can be healed by the proper diet and the proper eating. I mean, that's my teachers. That's what I want to do. And I pray that y'all have some a longer lifespan to be able to move to the full earth to uplift people instead of devouring people. See what I mean? Always take into consideration and explore your options. As young adults, y'all don't need to be worried about credit cards and all this stuff. What y'all need to focus on is bettering you, bettering your condition. That's what you need to do. strongly suggest to cleanse out your system, family. To protect your family is sliced lemon and sliced cucumber ice water. That will help you out a lot. Consuming that every day as needed. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Never give up and never shut your life short. So once you understand these things, sons and daughters, young man, you need to, whatever it is, folly that you're doing in your life, you gotta stand corrected. You gotta better yourself. Enroll into a trade school. Learn electricity. Learn to be a handyman around the house and be able to fix things, no problem. If you can do those things while a wife is waiting for you, and once you have self-control, life is full of temptations. Now the question is, do you give in to it or not? Well, family, just be mindful of your journey. And everything you do. Islam, South Benton, peace and love. All those who think that living lifestyle, hanging out all night is the best thing to do, all you gotta do is cut your lifespan short. If you're gonna be out there harming people, then you're in the wrong profession. Getting a trade is everything. That's what it is. It's everything, family. You gotta marry your Jesus. Is Jesus God? No. No, sir. Jesus is not God. Yeshua is an attribute of Allah. Messiah never said he was God, family. It says in the Bible, it says, I come to serve. I didn't come to be served. That's a sign that he's for the upliftment of fallen humanity. Doing the right thing and studying and doing your homework and your research for yourself is everything. Studying to show yourself approved is everything. Sometimes we can't go by what is being parakeeted. Sometimes we gotta be around people who are like minds like ourselves. So we'll be able to learn and grow. And that way we can be able to teach our children. But right now, family, it's all about perception. Protecting your children is explaining them the difference between right and wrong. That if you want to explain to children about the birds and the bees and how procreation is, and how procreation only exists with man and woman and not the same sex and all this other stuff, and this LGBTQ, this whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing going on, to tell you it's okay to be whatever gender you want to be, which is not accurate. If it's already signed at birth, there's nothing you can do about it. You can admit it all you want, but it is what it is. When we are sitting amongst each other, sometimes it's just best to listen to the person who happens to be a lot wiser and can be able to point out things that's based upon accuracy and truth. Truth can't be found in one book. Truth is sporadic. South, yeah, I'm right there with you. It's a spiritual warfare going on. Yeah, it's a spiritual warfare, but it's more of a jihad, which is the war within. That's Arabic. Jihad means the war within. The thoughts is the cause of everything. The thoughts is the cause of your actions, do right or wrong. And once we understand these conditions and these situations, then we can be able to know how to maneuver. Me personally, I saw someone getting tailgated and swerved around and all this other stuff, and person, brake checking and all this other stuff, and I'm brake checking for the wrong reason. But yet still, when I speak and say I saw what happened and I can bear witness, all I get is the middle finger. But I have a choice. Either run the woman off the road or react to it and be peaceful, be like, you know what, I did nothing wrong. I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm not going to let this bother me. I am truly not going to let this woman throw the middle finger up at me because I did nothing wrong. And I'm just saying that I'm doing the right thing by looking out for her, but she went through the middle finger because I did nothing wrong. But I'm not going to let that get to me because you know what? I'm right. And one day she going to be like, what? And she's gonna pay the consequences for her actions. My thing is this: it is wrong to harass people and stalk people on the road. It's wrong to do that. But at the end of the day, it's always gonna be issues and problems because you have a free will as a human being or an anti-human being. You have a choice. You can do right or you can do wrong. That's the whole thing right there. You got a choice to choose. You can't serve two masters. You're gonna love one, hate the other, family. I can't make it up. I'm doing this live because, showing honor and respect to your elders and verbally defending yourself, there's a way you go about doing it. And I'm going to show you I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say my mom and pop and I, we all disagree, right? And instead of me yelling at them and they think they're right, I would say, Mom, Pop, you know what I'm saying? I love you with all due respect. Take a look at it from this perspective, and if this is equal to that, how come this does not align of what you're saying? You tell me that. Can you please explain? And if they're not able to explain it, and they're in a state of shock mode, it has nothing to do with your winning the argument. It's just that you're pinpointing the case scenario of your life, of your perception of what you see is correct due to the contrary of what your father and mother see. But there's a way you approach the situation without being disrespectful and being dishonored. This is what protecting family is all about. It's about honoring what mom and father has said, but you still have your own state of mind thinking without getting into an argument or wanting to get into a fist fight. Because even though you're an adult, it doesn't mean that you got the audacity to disrespect mom, pop, grandma, aunties, uncles, and etc. Right? So when we honor our father and mother, it doesn't mean that we're yielding to their portion of understanding that seems like good to themselves. It's just that we're yielding to what they said, but we have our own state of mind and we see things differently. Islam, yeah, South, yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, the spiritual warfare going on. Yeah, definitely. Portions of understanding is always going to be sporadic. Portion of understanding is always going to cause debate. But at the end of the day, as long as you stand on what you know is right, and you know the difference between right and wrong, that's all that matters. But it doesn't mean you have to hold a grudge against whomever that disagree with you. You can agree to disagree and still be peaceful and still be cordial towards each other. Do you not want to be cordial towards each other? That's the question. These things have a very strong, potent understanding. Family, going to 32 minutes into the show. If you love the show, hit that like button, hit that thumb up, and I need y'all to take into consideration that your brother man Moorish life. Yes, I am Moorish American. I'm not Negro, black, or colored. I'm not Latino, Chicano, Hispanic. I'm not none of that. I'm Moorish. So, yes, brothers and sisters, take everything for a grain of salt for what it is, and don't debate the truth. Keep in line with the truth. 2 plus 2 is 4 is 4. 2 plus 2 is not equal to 5. I don't care what these comedians say. You can't have 2 B's and have 2 B's and put them together and count 5. It's just 4. So, peace and love, family. I gotta get out of here. I got some things to do. I'm gonna come back live again. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you love what it's about. Quote of the day. And I'm gonna get back to that on another day because right now I got things to do. As they say back in the 70s, if you don't take care of your business is gonna take care of you. And if you don't understand that, I'm gonna let you go ahead and figure that out. Cause you got to live and learn. You got to live and learn. Go, 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 go. Before you read this word. You got to live and learn. I don't wanna be the one tell you how it's gotta be. Living is the only way. That song is called Live and Learn by Joe Public. That's one of my personal favorite songs I grew up on in the late 80s, early 90s. Islam, peace and love. I'm going to close this out with the Moorish American prayer, family. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Ameen. And honors to all those in the chat. Honors to South Benton. Honors to the family and friends who are listening in, and the enemies, especially y'all Hebrew Israelites. Y'all. Talk about y'all. Y'all think y'all know it all. But yeah, I'm about to peace out. Peace in and peace out. Peace and love, family.